Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up this afternoon, more oil marketing companies increase fuel prices at the pumps. Meanwhile, the National Petroleum Authority announces a new benchmark for pricing of fuel for the next 2 weeks. Also coming up, galamsey described as a major economic risk to women in cocoa farming. And with just 51 days to the election 2024, is there a possible doomsaw, and what could be the political cost at this crucial moment? We'll discuss the shutdown of Sunon Asogli Power's 560 megawatt power plant due to the ECG's indebtedness. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. And thanks for staying with us, everyone. We begin, as always, with a look at the currency market. That's a chart for you this afternoon, how it's looking. The US dollar buying at 16 cedis 25 pesos, selling at 16 cedis 50 pesos. The pound sterling 21 cedis, selling at 21 cedis 40 pesos. The euro going for 17 cedis 75 pesos. That's if you're buying, and it's selling at 18 cedis 10 pesos. And so that's your look on the currency market this morning. And you know the currency market has an impact on fuel prices. That's where we begin from this afternoon, because more oil marketing companies are increasing prices of petroleum products at the pumps. Here's more in this report.
One of the oil marketing firms, Shell, is selling a litre of petrol at 14 cedis, 35 pesos. Diesel, on the other hand, is going for 13 cedis, 79 pesos. There are strong indications that other major oil marketing firms are also working to increase their prices at the pumps. These adjustments have been influenced by the continuous increase in the price of crude oil over the past 2 weeks on the international market and recent challenges with the Ghana cedi. The development could result in increase in price of some foodstuff on the market and cost of living also going up.
Meanwhile, the National Petroleum Authority has announced a new benchmark for pricing of fuel products for the next 2 weeks. Here's George Affe.
The price floor released by the National Petroleum Authority showed that petrol should not be sold below 12 Ghana cedis 73 pesos per litre, 13 cedis 43 pesos. That's the price floor for diesel per litre. A careful look at the numbers showed that some significant spike from what was announced some 2 weeks ago. The development showed that more oil marketing companies may now be forced to increase prices at the pumps, even if they wanted to keep prices unchanged.
So the National Petroleum Authority has also revealed that it will soon move to sanction firms that fail to comply with the benchmark. Turning to issues to do with illegal mining, a Canadian non-governmental organization supporting rural women in agricultural areas has identified galamsey as a major economic risk to women in cocoa farming. According to Samuel Apenting, an agricultural risk management specialist, many women in rural areas have had their cocoa farms destroyed by illegal miners. He said many are also finding it difficult to get laborers to support their work. Joseph Obeng has more in this report.
Speaking at a debate to commemorate the 2024 International Rural Women's Day at Dumpasi in the Adansi North District, some of the farmers shared experiences of how their lives have been affected by galamsey. The day was celebrated under the theme, The Empowered Rural Woman, a Healthy and Prosperous Community. The aim is to empower about 3,000 women above age 36 and some thousand youth between the ages of 18 to 35 at the end of the project period. The agricultural risk management specialist for Sokodevi, Samuel Apenting, said women play enormous community roles and provide support for a number of families, so their livelihoods should be protected.
Yeah, the Together project of Sokodevi is basically supporting women. The challenges that the farmers are facing are climate risk, financial risk, and then market risk, and also even human risk. Because of galamsey, most of the farmers do not get labor to work in their cocoa farms. Most of the youth in these communities are embarking on galamsey, said that they cannot even get labor to work on their farms. And as a result of that, it's been impacted on the cocoa. Apart from the lack of labor that these farmers are experiencing, Galamsey is also spoiling their farms and the water that they even need to embark on their farming activities.
Gender equality facilitator for the project, Lillian Kutiru, said women are being taken through leadership development, building entrepreneurial skills and supported with startup assistance.
With the Together project, which we are working with cocoa farmers, 1, to improve the cooperative system, 2, get women to be more involved in the cooperative system, 3, address environmental challenges and also address agri-risk management issues there. You will see that gender is a mainstreaming issue in all of them. And we are targeting 3,500 women out of this project, of which we should have a substantial amount of youth also benefiting from it.
The woman cooperative representative at Dompase, Doris Bosompim, and other beneficiary women commended Soko Devi and their partners for introducing them to loans, saving schemes and skills development training. Joseph Obens reports for Joy News.
Now, Deputy Head of Programs of Sustainable Development through Agribiz at GIZ, Bashir Hussaini, has committed to supporting women in the agri sector to improve on yields and general agricultural sector production. According to him, the impact of the recent dry spell cannot be underestimated, hence the need to support all players, including women, in the activities aimed at ensuring food security. He was speaking at the International Day of Rural Women celebration.
National Day of Rural Women is celebrated annually to recognize the essential contributions of rural women in agriculture, food security, and rural development. It highlights the vital role they play in food production, from farming to processing and distribution, while also addressing the unique challenges women face, such as limited access to resources and technology. Speaking at this year's celebration, Deputy Head of Programs of Sustainable Development through Agribiz at GIZ, Bashir Hussaini, said women contribute immensely to general agricultural production in the country, hence the need for increased support to cushion them.
Here not to only celebrate your hard work, but also your role in ensuring sustainable food production, security, nutrition for the communities in both rural and urban areas. This year marks the 3rd time that Agribiz program is supporting the Development Action Association to celebrate this important day. 1. Agribiz is deeply committed to improving conditions that create sustainable employment in the agriculture sector, particularly for the women. This is a testament to our dedication to empowering rural women and ensuring that their contributions are recognized and supported.
Executive Director of Development Action Association, Lydia Sasu, outlined the impact of Galamsey activities on their yields.
Looking at the crops too, we've realized that the water it had been polluted because of Galamsey, and the youth are making noise that they don't have land. The land has been a problem. I asked them to go around. Some of them are even taking the topsoil. Some of the areas, some of the region, they take the soil. Before you go to your farm, the subsoil is gone. And you are left with your cassava standing 1-1, then they will call. So these are some of the things that they have to take care and then listen to us. Some areas, they were not planting yam. Now look at the types of the yam that we have, just around Eastern region here. Esuboy, we put them to CSR, and for the past 6-7 years, they are planting cassava and producing and selling, which means that whatever we learn and we put it into practice, we can also help.
The International Day of Rural Women, which was themed Rural Women Cultivating Good Food for All, provided an opportunity for collaboration between rural women, government officials and stakeholders, ensuring the adoption of technologies and policies.
While still agri-related, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture says it is poised to provide farmers with inputs as part of this year's Farmers' Day celebration. This was after the ministry received items and cash prize from some corporate institutions for the celebration. Deputy Minister Yao Frimpong Ado said the items will support or help drive home the need for more sustainable farming practices to reduce the impact of incidents like the recent dry spell.
So today is the beginning. About 4 companies have come to present what they do, what they produce for agriculture in this country. And we've received all these items. We are going to distribute them to the farmers on Farmers' Day. And just to announce that we've picked a theme which is about climate smart agriculture. And the theme is around climate smart agriculture because we all know what has happened to our farmers in the north and part of the former Brong-Ahafo region. There has been a long spell of drought that destroyed a lot of farms. And if you are faced with this phenomenon of climate change and you don't adopt climate smart agriculture, then the future of your agriculture is gone and your people are going to suffer. So the team flows very well with what we are going to do this year. We are doing a lot of irrigation projects that would kind of forestall any future event of climate change that will affect our farming negatively.
You're watching The Marketplace. Next, business and politics. All right, and we're going to be talking about power. It's a business issue, it's a political issue as well. And government has been advised to re-engage independent power producer Sunon Asogli in a more transparent manner over the $259 million debt owed the company. The Institute for Energy Security, for instance, has cautioned that the government may be soon forced to increase its imports of electricity to compensate for reduced local energy production. This follows a shutdown of Sunon Asogli Power's 560 megawatt power plant due to the ECG's inability to meet its payment obligations. Now, lead data analyst who joins us, Isaac Ofeji, joins me in studio to discuss this. Been a while, we had you here, so welcome, big welcome to this segment. So I want to start with how we got here, how the ECG got to this point of $255 million as debt to Sunon Asogli.
Yeah, I mean, Sunon Asogli is one of the big players when we come to the independent power production space in Ghana. And under the new or revised cash waterfall mechanism, they're supposed or entitled to a monthly payment of $7 million every month. And so you will see that this is not the first time Sunon Asogli is threatening to shut down or has had talks around shutdown. The biggest one came in December 2023 before we ended the year. And that was a big threat to the energy security of the country, where the government had to now promise $60 million in terms of the debt that they owed Sunon Asogli in two tranches, $30 million every month. And now we are saying that based on the accrued debt over the period, Sunon Asogli is talking about a debt of almost $260 million. And we know that they have been saying in their statement that they've only had about 22.6% of what they are due between January and September 2024.
22.6%.
Absolutely.
That's inadequate.
Woefully inadequate, yeah.
Woefully inadequate. Right.
Now, let's look at other, I was talking about the 7 million monthly, entitlement that they have under the cash waterfall mechanism. They are one of the big players in the cash waterfall mechanism. Now, we've been looking at the data right from January, the beginning of the year, and seeing how the ECG has been treating Sunon Asogli under this new cash waterfall mechanism. The first payment that went to them was a little above $800,000 in January, and since I think February and April, they've been paying them around $7 million every month. But from May, June, July, they are entitled to $21 million, and per the data that we have from the PRC's validation report, Sunon Asogli has not been paid their monthly, entitlement of $7 million over the last 3 payment periods.
Wow.
And they are one of the companies that when the finance minister broke the news about reaching an agreement with an independent power producer on the debt restructuring, they were not captured under the 5 who agreed to do the restructuring. There are 7 Two could not agree on terms. Government was saying they were still going ahead with the negotiation. Sunon Asogli was one of that big players who could not reach an agreement with government over that period.
All right. And so one more thing you want to show us here?
Yeah, absolutely. Now we are talking about the impact if Sunon Asogli, right now they've shut down, but what is the implication? They control about 650 megawatts of power. If you want to see how important that's about the consumption capacity of, let's say, the Ashanti region or the Western region. So the value here is not a small value. Remember, exactly in December 2023, when they threatened to shut down, the whole country was actually, surprised and shocked, because if they do so, it was going to cause some problems. But now we know some of the IPPs have come on stream, but still they control 10% of Ghana's dependable capacity, which means that if they are not producing, we could have, pockets of power outages across the length.
Well, speaking of pockets of power outages, we're discussing this morning that some parts of Accra were in darkness yesterday.
I mean, let's start from Dansoman and Bawe areas. Yesterday, we learned that they didn't have power for like 9 hours. I spoke to someone who said that his plant was on from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. before the plant came. Yesterday in the evening around Teshi Nungwa area, the Tema areas, and then somewhere around Nungwa, they also had outages from 8 p.m. to somewhere midnight before the power came. And so we are beginning to see, we are saying that they shut production somewhere around 8th October, which means that they've not been producing for some time now, for some days now, and we are seeing pockets of power outages across the length and breadth of the country. We do not know how negotiations are going to be, but in terms of this happening when we have just about 51 days to the presidential and parliamentary election, doomsday is not one thing that voters would want to experience. It's one thing
that can potentially upset voters, aside from the fact that things are really expensive now.
I mean, we've been trying to rank the issues that voters will be looking at when they go to the polls on December 7th, and we say that the economy will remain number one. Number two possibly will be the issues surrounding illegal mining, and three will be issues around power, and then let's say LGBTQ plus activities or any other issue, also health and other issues will come up. But if you talk about the top three issues or top three determinants,
power definitely
you can't take it out.
So it potentially has a political cost to it. And so, I mean, the government can't afford doomsday. I mean, how is it responding to this? Are we hearing anything from the government?
I mean, the government already has been negotiating with the IPPs, and they want to keep the power on. But definitely when you have some of the players who are not in this basket, you have some of these issues happening. The only way to solve this is to tackle it the way they did in December 2023, where they had to negotiate with the Sunon Asogli. They couldn't pay upfront the total debt. I'm not sure Sunon Asogli is requesting for the entire $259 million. Look, they just want some payments to be done. If you've not paid me since May or since April 2024, and definitely how do you expect me to get money to produce? This is a gas-fired powered thermal plant, so definitely they need energy or fuel to power this plant almost every time. The risky thing is that you have, this could bring a cascading effect, or what they call the snowball effect, where some of the IPPs who are also big in this space and are not so happy with the debt restructuring arrangement and have also not been paid, because it's not only Sunon Asogli that was not paid in the July validation report that we saw. Other IPPs were not paid. And so if Sunon Asogli is taking this move, let's just pray that other IPPs do not come on board, and that will
that's something we don't want at all. No. But I also think it's important to highlight the challenges the ECG is going through, for which reason they are not able to pay Sunon Asogli. I mean, there was talk of bankruptcy some time ago. That was debunked. But hey, the ECG is still struggling.
ECG is making revenue, but one big issue that's affecting ECG has to do with the exchange rate situation. Remember, all the IPPs are supposed to be paid in dollars. ECG produces the power we consume in dollars, but they collect cedis. So whenever they are going to settle, make or honor their debt obligation in dollars, they always struggle. Just look at it. At the beginning of the year, when they were paying IPPs what they are due, they were working with an exchange rate of $1 to 11 cedis, 99 pesos. Now in July, ECG was talking about almost $1 to 15 cedis. We are talking now about between 16 cedis, 80 pesos, and now 17 cedis. So just imagine, ECG can be collecting more, but just because of the poor exchange rate situation, they always have to cough up huge sums of money to pay IPPs, and definitely that's one thing that's affecting the ECG at the moment.
A famous politician once said, and the fundamentals are weak.
Well, the exchange rate will expose you.
All right. Thank you, Isaac Kufeji. It's good to have you in studio for a long while. Hopefully you'll be back.
Absolutely.
And that's it for business and politics. You're watching The Marketplace. Are we taking a break? Okay. And before we go, Chief of Staff Akosua Fremosel is promising the creation of a fund that will grant zero collateral soft loans to women in the next MPP government. She says the move will ensure economic inclusion for women and also help alleviate poverty. The Chief of Staff was at the racecourse market in Kumasi to open the rehabilitation of some portions of the market razed to the ground by fire. Naya Aljima has more.
The NPP manifesto promised Women's Trade Empowerment Fund to provide loans and grants to women in business. By this program, the government intends to mainstream the participation of women in the economy and improve access to financial services. The Chief of Staff, Akosua Fremosel Opare, reveals the policy which will change the face of women businesses will exclude collateral security.
The NPP has very good policies for women, especially when it comes to financing small businesses of women. We intend to create a special fund for women businesses. These financial institutions will only require a Ghana card to grant loans. They will not take any collateral.
She was addressing traders of the racecourse market who have over the years shown support for the Chief of Staff. Madame Osei Opare spearheaded the rebuilding of part of the market affected by fire early this year. Floors of some sections of the market were also enhanced to ease commuting of traders and clients. Queen Mother of the racecourse traders, Nana Chewa, speaks of the impact of the market upgrade.
When the inferno swept through the market, the Chief of Staff provided financial assistance to the affected traders. Today, the market is no longer muddy. She has upgraded some parts of it. Our drivers do not worry about the nature of the roads anymore. We all walk through the market conveniently.
The racecourse market is among markets in the country that have often received support from the Chief of Staff. For Joy Business, Nana Aljima, Kumasi.
All right, and so that's it for the marketplace. More on the fuel prices going up on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow.